Chosen one, there is something within you that no one can explain. A presence, a restlessness, a feeling that your life carries a weight greater than most around you perceive. Have you noticed how the world seems to test you in ways few would? Understand? It's as if doors close just as you're about to move forward, or as if people try to drag you down the moment you begin to rise. Your soul is a living key, and there are forces at work, visible and invisible, ensuring it is never used for the purpose it was destined for. Heaven awaits the moment you turn that key in the right direction. But there's something you need to understand. Hell has already reached out first. Before moving forward, show the universe you recognize the battle and write the number 777 in the comments to declare that you are ready to reclaim your soul and your destiny because the key is in your hands. Take this moment to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any part of this revealing journey. The war for your soul began even before you were born. Your spirit was marked, set apart, destined to open portals others would never even see. But here's what you were never told. The more valuable the key, the sooner they try to steal it. Since childhood, your mind has been bombarded with doubts, distractions, and cycles of pain designed to keep you trapped, unable to perceive your own greatness. Everything was calculated so that one day you would look at yourself and say, "Maybe I'm not special. Maybe this is all in my head." But that is the biggest lie ever told. The mere fact that you are here, listening to these words, is proof that your soul is still fighting to reclaim what belongs to it. But the question is, are you in control of your key, or has someone already taken it from you? Look around you. The world is full of chosen ones who fell before they even realized they were in the battle. People who had their keys snatched without resistance, who were convinced there was nothing within them but flesh and bones. Do you feel something is wrong with this reality? Do you see how everything seems designed to keep people sleepy, distracted, empty? This happens because most have already lost the right to their own soul. But you still have time. You can still reclaim what is rightfully yours. The enemy has already made their move, already made their offer, already tried to corrupt your essence. But you cannot let your key fall into the wrong hands. You must hold it tightly and decide your own destiny. Your soul is not just a breath of life, a mere flicker of existence wandering through this world without purpose. It is a living key, forged in higher dimensions, carrying within it the codes necessary to open doors not even angels dare to touch. But here's the truth few understand. A key cannot open anything if it's in the wrong hands. And that's why hell always acts first. It knows the value of what you carry before you even awaken to your own identity. It sows doubts, distorts your perception, plants chaos around you so that when the time comes, you willingly hand over the key without resistance. It doesn't need to take it by force. It just makes you believe you never had it, that you were never worthy of it. And so, many fall without even realizing they were being hunted. Now, stop and look at your life. How many times have you been on the brink of a great change, feeling something powerful was about to happen, only to be suddenly thrown into a storm of confusion, fear, and stagnation? How many times did things start to go right, only to collapse without explanation? This was no coincidence. Chosen ones live under the radar of forces that work tirelessly to keep them trapped, distracted, suffocated. When you're about to turn your key in the lock of your destiny, something tries to make your hands tremble, your eyes look away, your mind question if it's worth continuing. And often, it works. Because the enemy's greatest trick is not obvious destruction, it's silent weakening. It makes you settle for less. It steals your strength not in one blow, but drop by drop, until you no longer have the energy to fight. And that's where many are lost. Because when a key falls to the ground, it can be picked up by anyone. And what happens when the one who was meant to open the portals of the divine hands over their key to the wrong hands? They become a prisoner within the very temple they were meant to govern. That's why we see chosen ones wandering the world as shadows of what they should be. Disconnected, purposeless, drowning in addictions, destructive ties, and illusions that keep them spinning in circles. They sold their keys without realizing it. And the price? They lost the right to access what was always theirs by divine design. But this doesn't have to be your destiny. You still have time. You can still hold on to your key before it disappears into the wrong hands forever. But understand this: reclaiming your key will not be easy. Hell does not let go of what it believes it owns without a fight. If it has already touched your mind, influenced your choices, left marks on your journey, it will not simply give up. You will feel resistance, doubts, direct attacks on your faith, your sanity, and your purpose. People you never imagined will turn against you. Exhaustion will try to convince you that maybe it's better to leave everything as it is. And in that moment, you will have to make a decision. Because this war was never about what happens around you, it has always been about what happens within you. The real battle is happening now, as you listen to these words. That's why, if you've made it this far, it means there's still a spark of fire burning within you, a remnant of something the enemy tried to extinguish, but failed. You know there's something within you that never quite fit into this world, something that has always made you question, search, feel that there's more than what your eyes can see. That is the call. That is the sign that your key is still within your reach. But time is running out, and those who want to take it have already begun to act. If you don't take possession of what is yours now, someone else will do it for you. If there's one truth the enemy wants to hide from you, it's this: you have always had power over your own key. But at some point in your journey, it made you believe you didn't. And that's how the theft happens, not with chains or explicit violence, but with subtle words, invisible manipulations, small concessions that, at first, seem harmless. It doesn't rip the key from your hands. It makes you let go of it on your own. It does this by creating fatigue, distraction, disgust for your own journey. It puts people around you to tell you to stop fighting. Accept your reality. You're not that special. These words are weapons, and if you allow them to penetrate deeply enough, they erode your strength, your discernment, your identity, until one day you wake up and realize you no longer feel anything. Your fire has been extinguished, your key is lost, and you don't even know when it happened. But don't be fooled. Even when the key is out of your reach, it never stops belonging to you. Because what is forged by the divine cannot be destroyed, only hidden. And that's exactly what the enemy does. It cannot annihilate your essence, so it buries it under layers of trauma, fear, and conditioning. It keeps your key locked in prisons of doubt, lies, and illusions, hoping you'll simply stop looking for it. And many do, because searching requires effort. It means stepping out of numbness. It means fighting against everything that, for so long, made you believe you were comfortable. Those who awaken to their true nature must weather the storm before reaching heaven. Because the path to reclaiming your key is not given freely. It demands courage. And that's why so few chosen ones make it to the end, because at some point, the enemy offers a bargain. It comes with promises, shortcuts, easier ways to find meaning in life. But all of it comes at a price. Maybe it's your freedom. Maybe it's your clarity. Maybe it's your entire soul. The world is full of chosen ones who became prisoners because they accepted crumbs instead of the feast that was already theirs. They had the key, but sold it for a moment of comfort, for temporary relief, for a promise that was never fulfilled. And now they wander, empty, with no memory of who they truly were. But you still have time. You can still reclaim what is yours. Your key is not lost forever. It's waiting for you to take it back. But this won't be a passive act. You will need to break free from everything that keeps you chained. You will have to question the voices that always tried to convince you your strength didn't exist. You will have to challenge the patterns, the limiting beliefs, the cycles of self-sabotage that were implanted in your mind from an early age. Because the enemy doesn't steal your key just once, it tries to keep it away from you every day. It wants you to give up before you even try. But if you've made it this far, it means something within you still burns, still pulses, still fights. And that is enough. Because a chosen one who decides to reclaim their key becomes the threat hell fears most. So, look at your life now. Observe your challenges, your fears, the barriers that arise whenever you try to grow. This is no coincidence. This is resistance. Resistance against your awakening, against the moment you finally realize that the key was never lost, just hidden. And now, knowing this, there's only one question left. Will you continue letting others control your key, or will you finally hold it tightly and open the door that has always been before you? You came into this world to break cycles, to open doors long sealed, and to reveal truths many don't want to see. But understand something crucial. Every key that can open the portals of the divine can also be used to unlock abysses. The same potential that can elevate you to your greatness can be manipulated to destroy you if it falls into the wrong hands. And that's the real game, not to prevent you from having power, but to ensure your power is used against you. This explains why hell acts first. It doesn't wait for you to discover your own worth. It acts before you can see clearly. From an early age, it sends voices to shape your identity wrongly. People who diminish you, systems that suffocate you, experiences that try to convince you you're not special. The war against the chosen ones never begins externally. It begins in the mind. If the enemy can make you believe you're not worthy of carrying this key, it won't even need to steal it. You'll hand it over yourself, and it will use it to lock doors within you, sealing your access to your true essence. That's the greatest trick ever devised, making a chosen one forget they were ever one. But what happens when someone begins to awaken? What happens when a chosen one realizes they have been deceived? The answer is simple. The game changes. Hell panics. Resistance intensifies. Suddenly, everything around you seems to crumble. People who were once by your side begin to drift away. Chaos arises out of nowhere. This does not mean you are on the wrong path. It means you are finally moving in the right direction. When you decide to reclaim your key, the attack intensifies. Because it's not just about you. What is within you is not only meant to open your own doors, but also to liberate those around you. And nothing threatens the darkness more than a chosen one who is aware of their calling. This is why now you need to make a decision. Will you continue living as if your key never existed? Will you accept the narrative that you are just another, Person without a voice, without purpose, without impact? Or will you do what few have the courage to do and take possession of what has always been yours? Heaven never forces anyone to open their doors, but hell works tirelessly to ensure they remain closed. And the greatest mistake a chosen one can make is not losing their key. It's letting it rust in their own hands, paralyzed by fear, doubt, and conformity. So, look at your life now. See the patterns, the repetitive cycles, the moments when something tried to stop your progress. Do you really think all of this was a coincidence? Do you truly believe that God simply plays with your life without reason? If you feel this call burning within you, it's because the battle is not over. This is not just in your head. This is your spirit screaming, trying to wake you up, trying to remind you of something the entire world wants you to forget. Because the truth is, you already know. Deep down, you've always known. Since childhood, something in you never quite fit. You felt things differently, saw what others didn't, carried an awareness that seemed larger than your own age. You tried to ignore it, tried to be like everyone else, but it didn't work. Because you were not made to be like everyone else. You were not born to follow the flow. You were born to break the system. And that's why your life has never been easy. Nothing that happened to you was random. Every loss, every rejection, every moment of loneliness, all of it was a test, a disguised attack. Because if there's one thing the enemy fears, it's a chosen one who discovers who they truly are. Many times, you felt like you were on the verge of something grand. But then, out of nowhere, came a blow. Something pulled you back. A fear, a doubt, a discouragement. As if there were an invisible barrier preventing you from moving forward. Because whenever a chosen one gets too close to the truth, the system moves to pull them back. Through your own emotions, it uses your weaknesses against you. It makes you feel like you're not good enough, like you don't deserve it, like it's too late. It distracts you, throws problems into your life to occupy your mind, places the wrong people in your path to slow you down. And the worst part is, it often works. Because while you fight the external storms, it's stealing your key from within. There is an invisible flow, a game of forces operating far beyond common understanding. Within this game, there are pieces that can be manipulated and those that should never fall into the wrong hands. The chosen belong to the second category. They do not follow the flow, they do not conform to the system, they do not walk conventional roads. But there is a price for this. From the moment they are identified, they become targets, not just by men, but by forces that desire to use what is within them for purposes they were never meant for. The soul of a chosen one is a living mechanism, a key capable of opening passages that transcend common existence. But a key only has power in the right hands, and that's why there is so much effort to snatch it before it can be used. The attacks against those who carry this key are not obvious. They do not come as announced storms. On the contrary, they come silently, disguised as circumstances, masquerading as harmless choices, masked as thoughts and emotions that seem natural. Few perceive the invisible war around them, and that is the real danger. Because while they are distracted, while they try to find logical explanations for the weight they carry, the enemy advances. It insinuates itself into the details, alters perceptions, plants seeds of doubt and hopelessness. And before they realize it, the chosen no longer recognize themselves. They become shadows of what they should be. They surrender their key without even noticing they once held it. But there, are those who awaken. There are those who, amidst the chaos, feel something that cannot be ignored. A silent call, a fire that never completely goes out. This awakening is not peaceful. It is not smooth. It comes like an earthquake, like a rupture within the mind itself. Suddenly, patterns are exposed. What once seemed like bad luck reveals itself as strategy. What once seemed like coincidence proves to be orchestrated. And then the truth imposes itself. None of this was an accident. The resistance they always faced, the obstacles that arose along the way, the losses, the betrayals, the forced silences, all of it was an effort to prevent this moment. The moment when the chosen one realizes that their key is still there, waiting to be recovered. Recovering it, however, requires more than desire. It requires confrontation. Confrontation against everything that was imposed to keep them subdued. Against the programmed fears, the accepted lies, the cycles of self-sabotage that were installed early on. It requires a break from what is comfortable, from what is familiar, because no one recovers their key and remains the same. Awakening has a price, and few are willing to pay it. That's why so few complete this journey. Because the path of ignorance is comfortable, while the path of truth demands sacrifice. But there is no alternative for those born with this mark. Because a key forged to open the doors of the heights will never find peace if it remains locked within itself. The chosen one who tries to deny their essence will live in constant conflict, wandering between two realities that can never be reconciled. They may try to fit into the world. They may try to suppress their restlessness, but something will always pull them back. Because what is within them cannot be erased. It can be put to sleep. It can be distorted, but it can never be destroyed. And one day, sooner or later, they will be forced to choose. Reclaim what is theirs or continue running until nothing of themselves remains. The soul of a chosen one knows no rest until it fulfills the purpose for which it was designed. No matter how much time passes, no matter how many times they try to ignore the call, something within them will always pull them back. This impulse, this restlessness that never disappears, is the silent reminder that there is a path waiting to be walked. But not everyone can withstand the pressure of the world. Many bend under the weight of expectations, distractions, and cycles of emotional, where designed to keep them trapped. Because it's not enough to stop a chosen one from advancing. They must be convinced that there was never a destiny waiting for them. And that is the greatest danger. The danger of being shaped by external influences, of becoming hostage to a reality that was never theirs, of looking within and seeing nothing but the void left by a stolen identity. Those who fall into this cycle begin to live without direction, without a sense of belonging, without a defined purpose. They become pieces in a game they were never meant to play. And, little by little, their energy dissipates, their strength wears down, their essence dissolves into the mediocrity of the world around them. Time passes, and without realizing it, they become fragmented versions of themselves, souls trapped within bodies that merely exist but do not live. Yet, even in these moments of numbness, there is something that never completely fades. A flicker of consciousness, a distant echo that continues to call them back. Because a chosen one can get lost, can stray, can even try to extinguish their own light, but they will never be able to erase what was placed within them. But awakening to this truth is not enough. Realizing you've been deceived is not enough. Understanding is only the first step, because the real challenge comes after, the moment of reconstruction. And this is where many fail, because rebuilding requires effort. It requires facing everything that was lost, everything that was stolen, everything that was given away without realizing. It requires cutting ties that bind, breaking patterns that imprison, destroying the walls that were built to keep you away from your true identity. There are no shortcuts for those who wish to reclaim what is theirs. There is no comfort for those who seek the truth. There is only the certainty that the path will be arduous, but that every step will be worth it. And it is at this point that it is decided who moves forward and who retreats. Because there are those who feel the call, who see what needs to be done, but hesitate. They let fear speak louder. They let doubt corrode their determination. They let the weight of the journey convince them that perhaps it's better to stay where they are. But time does not wait. Truth does not mold itself to the convenience of those who fear facing it. And those who choose to delay the decision pay a high price, because every day of hesitation is another day their keys remain in the wrong hands. Every moment of doubt is a missed opportunity to take back what is theirs. Hell does not need to hurry, because it knows that procrastination is a poison that consumes slowly until there is no strength left to react. But for those who decide to move forward, something extraordinary happens. With every step taken toward the truth, a layer of weight dissolves. With every barrier broken, a fragment of identity is restored. With every cycle shattered, a new door opens. And then comes the moment when everything makes sense. The moment when the chosen one realizes that they always had within them what they sought outside, that their key was never truly lost, just hidden under layers of illusions that needed to be undone. What once seemed like a burden now reveals itself as a calling. What once seemed like a curse now shows itself as a destiny. And when that moment comes, there is no turning back, because an awakened chosen one will never again be a slave to the darkness. Those who dare to reclaim their keys not only free themselves, but become points of rupture in the fabric of reality. They are like beacons in the darkness, unexpected illuminations that tear through the night and expose what has long remained hidden. And that is why, the moment a chosen one awakens, the world around them reacts. The system tries to suffocate them. The shadows move with greater force. The voices of doubt and fear try to intensify, because nothing disrupts the balance more than a human being who has finally understood their true nature. Nothing destabilizes the darkness more than someone who has taken possession of what is theirs. An awakened chosen one is not just a threat. They are a catalyst. They drag with them everything they touch, awaken others who still sleep, break chains that seemed unbreakable. And for this reason, they will never be accepted by the world as it is. Do not expect understanding. Do not expect acceptance. The path of those who reclaim their keys is not paved with approval, recognition, or applause. On the contrary, it is marked by resistance, isolation, and trials. Because most people prefer to live in the safety of what is familiar, even if that familiarity is a prison. They reject the new, fear transformation, refuse to face truths that could crumble everything they've built. And when they encounter someone who refused to remain blind, someone who dared to open a door that should never have been touched, the reaction is withdrawal, hostility, disdain. Not because the chosen one is wrong, but because their very existence serves as a mirror that exposes the stagnation of others. But those who understand their mission know they were not called to please, but to transform. They know they are not here to fit in, but to break patterns. They know their path is not that of the crowd, but of leadership. And true leadership is not about command or control. It's about vision, resilience, and sacrifice. The chosen one, who reclaims their key, understands that their life will never be the same, that every step forward will require more renunciation, more clarity, more strength. But they also understand that the alternative, remaining lost, allowing others to decide their fate, denying their own essence, is no longer an option. And so, a new cycle begins. The key that was once rusted, forgotten, or imprisoned now shines with intensity. The doors that seemed impassable begin to open. The chosen one feels their energy shift, their perception expand, their mind free itself from everything that once limited them. They realize that what once seemed impossible was never truly impossible. It only required them to become the version of themselves capable of crossing the portals that were always there. Because the secret was never in the external barriers, but in the internal strength needed to overcome them. And when that strength is finally recognized, when the key finally fits into the right lock, the Chosen One understands something that changes everything. They were never trapped. They were never weak. They were never a victim of circumstances. They were, from the beginning, the missing piece. The one who, by taking possession of what is theirs, not only opens the doors of their own ascension, but changes the course of reality around them. Because when a Chosen One rises, they do not rise alone. They drag with them everything that is ready to awaken. The transformation of a Chosen One is a gradual process that requires courage, discernment, and the willingness to leave behind old illusions and comforts. The world will try to divert them, but they must move forward, even if it means walking alone for a time. Solitude is part of the journey, as not everyone is ready to accompany them. But as they grow stronger, new connections emerge, and their presence awakens others around them. Their purpose is not just personal. Every step they take opens paths for those who will come after, becoming living proof that freedom and truth cannot be erased. And this is the destiny of the true Chosen Ones. They were not born to be controlled. They do not exist to be limited. They are the living keys that open the portals of the impossible. They are the proof that nothing can imprison those born to be free. And now, after everything, after every battle, after every transformation, there is one certainty. The Chosen One who has awakened will never be chained again. And don't stop here. Share this message with those who need to hear it. And in the comments, write, "I take possession of my key," to affirm your commitment to this new phase. Also, if something within you has been ignited, leave your like below so we know you enjoyed the video, and take this moment to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any new content. But don't stop your journey here. Click on the next video on your screen or explore the playlist of the Secrets of the Chosen to deepen your awakening. Knowledge is your greatest weapon, and the path is just beginning. Remember, you are not here by chance. You are the key, and nothing can stop what was born to happen. May God bless you, and until next time.